this is AT at Revs. We're here with Rob. Today we're going to show you another one of our cars, another one of our projects, which is one of the special ones, one of the rare ones, straight from Japan. And well, it's not here right now, so let's get the car over here. Wait a second, this is how we do it. Let me call my boy Johnny over here.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up. It's coming
Anytime
at you.
now. It's here. Let's get into it. So what we have here is a 1999 Nissan Stagea RS4. What's special about this car? It's actually a Skyline in a wagon body. So let me show you what's inside the hood. So this car has a Nissan RB26 from an R33 GTR. This is what it is. This is what makes this car special. It's basically a wagon style body, an estate style body, and you have the Godzilla, the powerful Godzilla motor inside this car. So let me go over the process on, let me put this controller away because we don't need Johnny over here. We already got the car done. So I got this car back in 2021 after almost 9 or 10 months of browsing this car in Japan. Obviously it's from an auction. A buddy of mine, JP, helped me import this car. So if you're ever looking for importing a car straight from Japan, JDM stuff, make sure you hit him up. I'll leave it Instagram down below in the description. Anyways, so I actually wanted a wagon. I wanted a wagon so bad. It's a family car. It's a nice body style that I've always been interested in. And back in 2020 when I was looking for a wagon, I came across an Altezza. I came across the Mark Blitz 2. I came across a bunch of other 1JZ platforms. I came across a Toyota Crown Athlete, the wagon style body. If I want a Stagea, I want one with the RB26 in it. So they had the 260 RSs, which is made by Nissan with the RB26 in it. Obviously, by the time I was chasing the price hikes with JDM cars, it kept shooting up above my budget, kept going up and up, and the quality of the cars kept going down. Anyway, so I found this one back in October 2020, and we made a bid on it after bidding a bunch of other cars before this, and we lost a bunch of bids, but I never gave up on this car. That's why I got the Stagzilla plate before I even got the cars, because I wanted this car. I had my mindset on it, and we made a bid. 3 days into the bid, I won this car on October 4th, 2020. The car was here on the February of 2021, like the second week of Feb. Let me go over the process on what happens when you bid on a car. So obviously you need a broker in Japan, which my buddy had, as I mentioned, the buddy who helped me import the car down to Canada. He makes bid on your behalf. So you give them the amount that you're willing to spend, plus obviously you're going to make sure you have the rest of the money to bring the car over here, the import, the duties, the taxes, the shipment, and all that stuff, right? So you're looking at the base price of the winning bid, the price of the winning bid, plus the shipment from within Japan, wherever the car is located, to the broker site, from the broker site to the shipping company, from the shipping company all the way to Canada, to the port of Canada. So this car went to Vancouver, so you're going to factor in the cost from Vancouver all the way to you, then the registration cost. Anyways, a car like this cost me about $6,000, $6,500 on top of what the car was won at the auction. So I won this car on October 4th, and it took about a month to get everything sorted out in Japan, from where the car was to the broker, from that to the shipping company in Japan. And it took another month from Japan to the port of Vancouver. When I got this car in Vancouver, there was some problems, issues with the shipping company from Vancouver port to was it the Via Rail? So they couldn't get the car on the trailer, on the tow truck, because there was flats, the wheels were damaged. I don't know what the case was, but I had to get this car towed straight from the lot where the car was dropped from the ship. And they took the bumper out of the cars, made it easy, accessible to go on the tow truck. Brought the car back to the port. And the shipping company, Livingston, I think it was, they came, picked up the car, no issues. I brought the car over to me on the 14th of Feb 2021. And obviously when you buy a car blindly, this is a car I won in an auction based on a bunch of pictures. It's not how it gets here. There was a lot of issues, there was a lot of things wrong with the car. Nothing crazy, nothing I did not expect from a car that's been won blindly over an auction in a completely different country, right? So when I first got the car, the first thing I noticed, obviously the bumper was not there, the wheels were damaged, the tires were shot, the intake filters were completely destroyed. They were probably eaten by the turbo. Obviously these kind of filters, as you can see, they're mushroom type filters. They disintegrate and they get eaten by the turbo. So those needed to be replaced. Obviously it didn't look like this. I'll post some pictures on how I got the car, how it looked like back then. The batteries needed to be replaced because of the pencil style. So all these little things you got to consider when you get the car from Japan. You're gonna have to face some issues with the battery, the tuning. If you're getting a tuned car, you gotta make sure you get it retuned in Canada because the air is different, the denser the fuel, all that kind of stuff, right? So the bumper had a huge hole right over here, so I obviously needed to get the bumper redone. The bumper had holes, it had a crack down there. There's a bunch of other little issues here and there. There's some issues in the back which had a crack, which I got them fixed. I got the wheels powder coated, got the engine bay, a little bit of TLC here and there to get it all up and running. Got it tuned at Light Touch Tuning. If you guys don't know Light Touch Tuning, Don has been tuning cars for a while and he helped me get this thing on working. So if you're not into engines, if you're not into cars, I would really suggest having that looked at a mechanic before, because you want to make sure it's running right. Because if you're getting a tuned car, it's highly modified, you want to make sure it's running right before you take it for a rip. So there's that about these cars. Anyways, let me get into the surprises, that all the goodies that came with the car. Obviously I knew the car had the RB26 in it, had a bunch of little modifications here and there, had the Blitz intercooler, had the Koyo Rad, had a Cusco strut tower bar, had the Airnix Greddy intakes, had the HKS piping all around. So the car visibly had a bunch of things that I really liked when I looked into the pictures. But what I was surprised about when I opened the valve covers, the car actually came with N1 cams, which is better than the stock R33 cams. You can make more power with them. Had the Greddy oil cooler in the car. Had this nice Dolphin body kit, which is quite pricey to be honest with you. And the Ganador mirrors the car came with. A full-on adjustable Cusco suspension all around, Cusco strut control arms. Everything in this car was basically done up for racing. So I took this car to track a bunch of times. I took it to quarter mile, I took it to half-mile races. I did about 237 and a half mile, and I did 1268 in a quarter mile. So the car was pretty good the way it was. This is how the car was. All I did was basic tuning and TLC. Let me show you inside the car. So as you can see, the car came with the Stagea confetti mats, Momo concave style steering wheel, a Razzo carbon fiber shifter, and the car came with the special JDM PS controller. Never mind. The Recaro seat on one end, Bride on the other. Obviously that's very typical Japanese to have different side seats. I'm looking for another seat of the same kind. I really like the Recaro on this side, so I want it switched, so I want to have matching seats. Alright, so another thing what the car came with was the brakes. The brakes are upgraded from an R34 GTR, 4-piston front, 2 pistons in the back. This is an upgrade from the stock RS4 brakes. The RS4 brakes are typically the 2 pistons front and 1 piston in the back. So you got 4 pots, 2 pots. It's a huge upgrade for a car like that, especially with a engine swap. And it goes a long way for stopping a 4,500 pound car like that. So obviously 4,500 pounds with me in it. But yeah, you definitely need those brake upgrades. It also came with a modified exhaust, 5-inch tip. It's the 3-inch exhaust all the way back, 3.5-inch exhaust, Fujitsu exhaust. I'm not sure the name of the exhaust, but I'll leave it up here on top. I can't pronounce it. I want to pronounce it wrong. But it came with the modified exhaust. It also came with something very special. It's actually Apex I old school ECU. So it came with the little control. You can control your tuning. You can check your parameters all through this little remote. Alright, so another thing I forgot to mention it to you guys. Obviously this car came with a lot of goodies straight from Japan. A lot of performance mods. And one of the most important performance mods that this car came with were the R34 GTR turbos. So this car has R34 GTR turbos, R33 GTR motor, R33 GTR 5-speed trans. Obviously this was an auto before and it was swapped into an auto car, so there was a bunch of stuff done to the car, including the LSD. 5-speed transmission is also paired with the motor with an OS Gaiken twin disc clutch, which I replaced recently. I just had to replace the place. The clutch was already there. Obviously I was racing. I was ripping the out of this car and the clutch gave up because I was going nasty. I was doing 7,500 clutch drop straight go. I was pulling 168 60 foot, which is nasty for a car like that. So stay tuned.
On you ready, boys?
We're about to add turbo in this car, do a single turbo conversion very soon, and I'm gonna do some data collecting and see if the R34 GTR twin turbos are better than the single turbo, which I highly doubt it because single turbo makes everybody smile more. So stay tuned. Peace out. This is AT, Rob. We're gonna come back at it. I'm gonna talk about more of this car on the road after it's done with the single turbo swap. So peace.